In the winter of 1984, in the remote town of Silver Hollow, West Virginia, a man named Elias Grayson walked into the woods and never came back. He wasn't running from anything. He wasn't escaping. He was searching, and what he found may have been waiting for him long before he arrived. Elias was a quiet man, known more for his silence than his words. He lived alone in a small cabin on the edge of Black Ridge Forest, where the trees grow too close together and the fog never burns off completely. Locals said he spent his nights reading old books, writing in journals no one ever saw, and walking the trails after dark with only a flashlight and a worn leather coat. He worked as a night watchman at an abandoned coal mine that had closed decades earlier. The company left behind rusted machinery, collapsed tunnels, and a history no one wanted to remember. But Elias didn't care about the past, or so they thought. On the night of November 7th, he told his sister on the phone that he was going to check the perimeter of the mine. It was routine, nothing unusual. But when he didn't return by dawn, she called the sheriff. His car was found exactly where it always was, parked near the entrance, engine off, keys still in the ignition. His flashlight lay snapped in half on the ground. His boots were placed neatly side by side, like someone had taken them off calmly and stepped barefoot into the dark dot. No footprints, no blood, no signs of struggle, just silence. The search began immediately. Police, volunteers, even hunters from nearby counties joined in. They scoured the forest, checked the mine shafts, used dogs and drones. Nothing, no trace, no body, no evidence that anyone had passed through. But then, the strange things started. One of the deputies claimed he heard music coming from deep underground, faint, distorted, like an old radio playing a song from the 1950s. Another said he saw a figure standing between the trees, tall and thin, motionless, watching. When he shined his light, the figure was gone, not running, not fading, just gone. Then, in 2007, a group of 6 college students from Morgantown decided to investigate the legend. They brought cameras, voice recorders, and a tent. They set up camp just inside the tree line, laughed around the fire, recorded everything, until midnight. The last footage shows them joking, passing a bottle, when suddenly one of them stops and says, "Do you hear that?" The camera pans, silence, then, a whisper, not from any of them, says, "He's listening." The recording cuts out at 12:17 a.m. When authorities arrived the next morning, the camp was untouched. Sleeping bags intact, food uneaten, phones, wallets, shoes, all left behind. Only the voice recorder remained, buried slightly in the dirt, its battery dead to this day. No trace of them has been found. Some believe Elias Grayson became part of whatever lives in those woods. Others say he tried to warn people, but no one listened. A few claim to have seen him walking the trails at night, pale and barefoot, staring into the trees with hollow eyes. But the most chilling detail, a cassette tape was recovered from his car. It was labeled in his handwriting, "Do not listen." The FBI sealed it. To this day, it remains unopened. If you go to Silver Hollow, they'll tell you not to follow the old path past the broken sign. They'll say the air gets colder the deeper you go, that your phone loses signal, that sometimes, just before dawn, you can hear music drifting through the mist, faint, distorted, like a song from another time, and if you listen closely, it might start calling your name. This is not fiction. This is not myth. This is a story that still haunts the people of West Virginia, a place where the earth breathes secrets, and the night never truly ends, because in the dark, something is always watching, and it remembers those who walk too far. In 2019, a hiker reported finding a journal buried under leaves near the mine entrance. The pages were water damaged, but some text was legible. It read, "They're not ghosts. They're older. They were here before the mines, before the town. They sleep beneath the roots. and they wake when someone walks too deep. The journal disappeared from police custody 2 days later. Officially, it was lost in processing. Another report came in 2021 from a drone operator testing thermal imaging in the area. The footage showed 6 heat signatures moving in perfect formation through the forest at 3:14 a.m. No lights, no sound, just slow, deliberate movement. When the drone got closer, the heat signatures vanished, not fading, but disappearing instantly, as if erased. The file was deleted from the operator's hard drive the same night. Locals now avoid the forest entirely after sunset. They call it the hollowing. They say the land remembers pain, and that some doors, once opened, can never be closed again. There are whispers of other disappearances, not just Elias and the students, but others, hunters, runaways, people who simply vanished without a word. Their names aren't in the records, but the families know, and they keep quiet, because speaking about it seems to draw attention. One woman, whose brother disappeared in 1995, said she received a postcard in 2016 with no return address. The image was of a dense forest, and on the back, in handwriting she recognized instantly, were 3 words: "I'm still here." The postmark was from a town that doesn't exist. The FBI has classified the case as unresolved, but former agents who worked on it have spoken anonymously about strange occurrences during the investigation. One said his audio recordings were filled with whispers in a language no one could identify. Another claimed that every photo taken at the site came back with a faint shadow figure standing just outside the frame, even when no one was there. They stopped sending teams in after the 3rd disappearance. Now, the forest is fenced off. Signs read, "No trespassing, hazardous terrain," but the fence is broken in places, and at night, if you stand at the edge of the tree line, you might see a light flickering deep within, not a flashlight, not a campfire, but something steady, low, and blue. Some say it's Elias, others say it's the mine itself, alive in some way no one understands. But the truth is worse, because the forest isn't haunted, it's hungry, and it remembers every step. If you've ever felt like you were being followed in the woods, or heard a voice that shouldn't be there, you're not alone. Thousands have shared similar experiences across rural America, places where history bleeds into the present, where the missing don't always stay gone. We investigate these stories not because we believe in ghosts, but because we believe in truth. And sometimes, the truth is more terrifying than any ghost. So if you know something about Elias Grayson, or the students who disappeared in 2007, speak up, because silence only feeds the darkness. And if you want to hear more stories like this, stories that shouldn't exist, but do subscribe to Mystery Continues. Turn on the bell, because the next video might be about a place near you, because the forest is listening, and it knows when someone new arrives. It watches from the roots, from the shadows, from the silence between heartbeats, and it waits, not for fear, but for footsteps.